where to begin? Um, I've just coming to Cabrillo and sort of taking the first freshman year to sort of grow up, I guess you could say, and then this year to sort of discover myself. I've discovered so many places at Cabrillo that have opened their arms to just character development, academic development, and a few that I use frequently that I'd like to share with you guys has been, as you know, the STEM Center, um, the counseling department, admissions and records, believe it or not, SI sessions, career services, and student senate, and a few others. What I can say about all these is that the amazing part about Cabrillo, which I love so much about the resources, that they all tie in together. The STEM Center is tied in closely with the MLC and ILC. Little known fact about the ILC, they're actually doing very well right now in Wattsville and doing a good job building community. And so I've actually been going with them a little more to see what they have sort of brought to the table rather than other places. So I like giving the Wattsville Center also that love because they have so many awesome events planned. But I've also currently used the Student Senate and Interclubs Council just to get myself more involved. I would like to share a little more about sort of my freshman year and the mistakes I made and what I've learned from them, and also the beginning of my sophomore year. I was very aloof in the beginning. I just thought community college was sort of, all right, I just go through, I figure out what I want to do, and I move on. I didn't really think about the community aspect, who I should be talking with. Because as I learned later on, who is more important than what you know? And you need to make those connections to sort of help people and sort of develop yourself. And being immature as I was, I didn't put that as a priority or a focus. I was focused solely on myself. It was only till I met with a few friends and I met with Kelly and I met with Joanne, Jocelyn, Karen, and all those wonderful people that they first directed me to the STEM Center. And this just opened up a bunch of doors for me. So for me, the STEM Center has been very pivotal with my major because it's a hub for all good things. I have nothing bad to say about it because they offer tutoring, they offer SI sessions, they offer resources that can be given out. And so this allowed me to see how all the other programs sort of interlap and work together. So what I would encourage for other students who are listening is find that one place, find that one hub that sort of is your community, and then allow that to help you branch out. Um, and so furthermore, is it okay if I take questions, Sarah? I just saw a question. All right. So, Morgan, good question. My major is in civil engineering currently. And so I think it's fantastic. And I have a bunch of wonderful people here who have helped me. So anyways, continuing on. Some new resources that I have been able to discover are sort of that have really helped with my development earlier past my sophomore year, which I wasn't really part of anything, has been Student Senate and the Interclubs Council and career services. A lot of people overlook these services, and I feel like they are very important because clubs are sort of your second family and they need to be treated as such. For me, especially online, the first part of my semester for sophomore year was very difficult because I decided to shut myself off from the world. And that's not really a good place to be. It really exacerbates a lot of problems. And so, what I discovered through joining the Interclubs Council and just being a part of the Student Senate, which not a lot of students go to, is that there's a lot more going on in school than you realize. And it can be hard to take those first steps. But as I mentioned before, if you at least find just one place that is your community, that is your hub, they will most likely direct you to the places that will help you the most. And I feel like it's important to start there and then next start with clubs. Furthermore, the most important thing for me right now has been workshops. Those have been posted all around Cabrillo, but it appears no one really attends them. And one of the workshops that I recently attended was a resume workshop, which seemed a little just bland and plain at first. But you'll start to realize that the people who host these workshops are really, really passionate. about what they do. And the longer I listened and the longer I stayed, questions just naturally came. And that just comes from awesome presenters and people who just love what they're doing. And so during that resume workshop, I was I had questions that I had never asked before. And right now I'm super interested in just learning how to get a job, how to be a better professional, how to work better with others. And that was all started just because of one 30-minute workshop. And that was introduced to me through my community, through the STEM Center. And I will keep encouraging just finding that community because I would have not been able to find this elsewhere. Furthermore, I've joined the ILC writing workshops, and those are based in Watsonville, but since everything's online, it's so easy to connect. And so they're so passionate about what they do as well. And so through these passionate people, I have been able to develop myself further this semester than I ever thought possible. I'm looking back to last semester and the years before, I can't imagine where I am right now, which is incredible. So my closing points, what I want to mention about these is that Cabrillo College's programs, they're interconnected, but in order for them to be interconnected, you need to find your community and find your place. It can be difficult at times. It was difficult at me to find the STEM center, but how I approached that problem was I had to sit down and look at what I was doing and say, hey, I need help. That's all it boils down to. Hey, I need help. I need a mentor, and I need someone I can go with to help me through this. And then once you sit down and reflect on that, then you're able to find the resources available and find your main community. So these programs, because of me finding that community, have allowed me to self-reflect and engage more on campus. And these people, they really want to help you succeed and are offering free services for you. So I encourage to take advantage of that. And for me, these services changed my life. They help me develop better skills, talk with my family more, talk with my friends more, not isolate myself more, which is so easy to do right now. And they changed my perspective on life and how to approach it. So I'm very, very thankful for what I've been given.
Yeah, and free is not bad for those workshops, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So I noticed something between both what you and Gabby were talking about is that you found either a place or a program that really helped you make further connections.
Mhm.
And so for you, you said the STEM Center, and for Gabby, it was the prep program.
Yeah.
And so I just kind of wanted to highlight that, especially if I send out the recording or we post it to any students that are listening. Sometimes just finding that one place can help with those connections that Othello was talking about.
Mhm.
Excellent. Any other questions for Othello right now? Sarah.
Hi. So I miss seeing you. I think you were in my chemistry class when it went COVID disaster, right? A year ago.
Yes.
Oh, well, my question is that I like on my Canvas, I post on my resources links to the STEM, the hub, and then I send out the Watsonville announcements. I copy and paste them, but I don't
Yeah.
know if students are reading that. So I was wondering, like, I would like to, you keep mentioning the Watsonville ILC. Maybe I can put a link on my cover page and just send an announcement just with that and then highlight that. Do you think that would help students get there? Or I'm not sure what to think about that.
Yeah, that is a great strategy for approaching that. I believe highlighting that will bring students uh, attention to that. It definitely brings attention to my mind. But I don't necessarily want to speak for everybody. But students that I am friends with and who I've talked with, they need somebody to sort of be with in order to go to these community events. That's what sort of helped me get to the STEM Center. I needed a friend to come with me to sort of get over that social angst, if you know what I mean. So also what I would encourage, which unfortunately I didn't mention in there, was possibly encourage those people to have sort of a study buddy or a friend who can help them study, and then say, all right, you two are really close. Now go to that community and just rock it. All right, there's nothing to fear there because you have each other, if nothing else.
So peer support when going to these new places can be really important, it sounds like.
Yes.
Okay, any other questions for Othello right now? Rewa, please go ahead.
Thanks so much for sharing, Othello. I really related to kind of needing to find that one space and then this whole community like welcoming you in and making all those connections for you. I really experienced that too. My question is about, you were talking about getting involved with the ICC and kind of student government, and I was wondering if you could share a little bit more about that experience and what you'd recommend to students who might be interested in doing that too.
Yeah, so to be honest, it's a little hard to find them at the moment. And it was even a little hard when we're not online to find them because they're by the cafeteria. I didn't necessarily go there much, and a lot of people didn't. But what helped me, I was introduced to them mainly through my job, but then I started getting more interested in their affairs. And the way that I became more interested, if that's what you're asking, is I took the time to look at Cabrillo's problems. You know how I mentioned how I said I needed help. Now I was sort of focusing on how can I help others. And so sort of that's a natural progression. And so when I started thinking about that, I was like, what communities are out there? Oh, Student Senate. Oh, I've joined a club. How does the club sort of work together? And to be honest, it's kind of hard as a student to focus on that. You're focusing on classes and it's hard to sort of focus on helping others. But I believe a lot of students have that moment. And so as I mentioned before, if you have that community and everyone's helping each other, then it becomes much easier to find ways to give back as well. I hope that answered your question.
Yeah, and a lot of times there's a lot of opportunities where Cabrillo wants to hear a student voice, and sometimes they'll go to the student senate and from there kind of recruit voices, or hey, can we get your eyes on this? Because it's all well and good when the faculty say, I think this, or I think this, and right, the faculty, the counselors, the staff, but sometimes it's really good to get student eyes on it and hear what they have to say and what impacts them. And the student senate, a lot of times that's where Cabrillo goes to get that voice or to find those eyes to look at something from a different perspective. Thanks, Othello.